Hey everybody, Aaron Chandra here, founder of Lead Gen Pros, and in this video I'm going to be breaking down the exact process that I use to generate my current real estate clients anywhere from 25 to 35 qualified real estate seller and listing leads using Facebook ads. Now this is the strategy that I'm using today in 2023, but I'm sure it's going to be good in 2024 and beyond. Now we're going to dive right in. Nothing really too fancy here, just me talking to you guys with a screen share, so no fancy editing or anything like that. Just going to be value packed, so make sure you have a pen and paper handy here, or better yet, you can walk through it step by step with me. Now in terms of who this video is actually going to be for, it is for realtors who are looking to learn how to generate their own seller leads in their businesses. Now as an extension of this, there's a lot of marketing agencies out there too. I see you guys. I've been in your position before, and I know how difficult it can be to fulfill for your clients. So hopefully you guys learn a thing or two as well. Now, by the end of this video, my goal is that I'm going to give you guys the exact offer to run so you guys know how to generate these leads, in addition to the exact ad copy and graphics that I'm using for my agency and my clients today. I'm literally going to be giving away the farm, as they say, or as Hermosi says in the books that you guys are probably familiar with. This video actually was inspired by Hermosi's recent book, $100 Million Leads, kind of breaking down the process here to build some trust and goodwill with you guys. So ultimately today you're going to walk away with all the information that I charge lots of money for my real estate clients for free. So hopefully you guys subscribe at the very least. Come on now. As an additional bonus, if you guys actually need help setting this up, I'm going to be offering a free 30-minute blueprint session or a Facebook ad audit. So if you've tried to do this on your own, you can't quite figure it out, shoot me an email, aaron@leadgenpros.io, or send me a DM on Instagram. I've actually deleted it off my phone, so I'm not particularly responsive there, but email will be best. Not too sure how long I'll be doing this for if I get bombarded with requests, but again, feel free to shoot me an email. Happy to help out where I can. Okay, so a couple quick assumptions here. Actually, first things first, if you're looking to generate buyer leads too, I have made a video on that. That'll be linked in the description somewhere. And I basically covered these same things, but I'm going to be assuming you already have a Facebook ad account and Facebook page. If you don't, I'm going to link these resources in the description below. And number two, I'm going to be assuming you already have a Facebook pixel or know how to set up a Facebook pixel. If you don't, I didn't. It took me a little while to learn, but I'm going to link two really great resources. One is from Facebook and one is actually another YouTube video. So I'm going to link those in the description as well. And as another bonus, what I'm going to do for you guys, this entire document here, I'm going to be sharing this with a Google Drive link or probably an email opt-in. So I can at least collect your info and I know who's watching these videos. The crazy thing was on my last buyer video, I actually made the video and I saw somebody running it in my local city, like exact same ad copy, exact ad graphics, exact same questions as I had specified. So that was pretty crazy that another agency saw that and was running that for another local realtor. Really, really cool. I love to share and help you guys out. So I'll be sharing this document as well. Just probably have to enter your name and email in the description somewhere there below. Without further ado, let's jump into the Ads Manager. All right, so we're here in the Facebook Ads Manager, and I've just made myself a little bit smaller so you can see my screen a little bit more easily here. What we're going to do is we're going to create a new campaign on the left-hand side. For the campaign objective, we're going to be using leads in this particular instance. You can name the campaign. I personally have my own specific naming conventions, but if this was a client campaign, for example, I would say Lead Gen Pros, seller campaign, right? It's going to be a test. And then we'll name the ad sets and the ads afterwards as we get through it. Always use manual lead campaigns so you get a little bit more control there. Go ahead and click next. Number one, very, very important. If you are a realtor or even if you're an agency, right, you got to be selecting the housing category always, right? This runs, if you don't do this, you run the risk of getting your ad account, well, firstly, the ad won't run, and secondly, the risk of getting your ad account suspended. So always make sure you have housing selected. Leave everything else blank here. Some people like to use advanced campaign budget optimization. I personally do not. I think for a reason I explained in the buyer video, so I'm not going to touch on that again. But that's all you're going to do here. Then go ahead and click next. Now for the actual ad set name, this is going to depend on how you like to name things. I personally, again, will add my agency name. I'll specify what my targeting is. So if I'm going to use detailed targeting or open targeting, and then I'll specify the placements, right? Like if I'm doing a manual placement or if I'm doing an advantage placement, and I'll explain what all this stuff means in a second here. But usually, yeah, I go detailed targeting. And then sometimes for the placements, I tend to split test, right? So for sake of this video, we're just going to do advantage placements. But traditionally, for these kinds of ads, Facebook feeds will normally perform the best. So Facebook feed and Instagram feed. So up to you if you want to split test those as well. I just said AP here for advantage placements, right? So here's something that's a little bit more nuanced. For our seller lead campaigns, we actually don't use instant forms. We use a website. We're going to cover this in a little bit because it does make things a little bit more difficult here. But we're going to select a website here, and I'll show you exactly what kind of website and what kind of funnel we're using as well. Our performance goal in this case is to maximize the number of conversions and then the pixel. As I had mentioned earlier, I was going to be assuming you already have your own pixel. In this case, I have multiple pixels, and I set up pixels for all my clients. So again, I'm going to select the pixel that I have already set up previously. And your conversion event here, you'll see I have a handful of conversion events. I'm going to come back to this here, but what you're going to want to ensure you have set up as your conversion event is likely going to be the submit application conversion event. You can also monitor for schedule calls and whatnot too, but in my particular funnel, I have it set up as a submit application conversion event. And I'm going to come back to go high level on the back end to show you what that exactly means there. Everything else here we can actually skip. So attribution settings, we'll leave all of this stuff here. Budget and schedule, likely for these ads, you don't want to go below $20 per day. That's kind of where I'll keep my minimum. And usually as realtors start to get results, they'll typically scale that up 25, 30, 35, 40. I've seen as high as 50 in some instances. Now the custom audience. So when you're creating an audience, just make sure first things first, your location is set correctly. So I'm in Canada here, right? But you're just going to input whatever your specific city is. So for me, that's going to be Calgary or Calgary, but people not from here like to say Calgary. So that's where I'm at. You can't change the age defaults in the housing category, so that stays as is. And detailed targeting, a lot of people make this really complicated. It really doesn't have to be. I know for sure myself and my ads, I used to overcomplicate this and put a bunch of stuff in here. But really, Facebook's algorithm is really good, and you can give it pretty minimal instruction. And as it starts to optimize or get seasoned over the next little bit, it'll find the right people to show your ad to. So all I do here is I'll go real estate. I'll use the property one here. Sometimes for the seller listings, seller ads will run single family detached as an interest. And then sometimes we'll do Zillow as well, right? Because there may be some interest in terms of looking at homes there. So we keep it pretty simple. This is all we do for the interests. We leave it as is. Sometimes I'll split test with open targeting as well. And then lastly, at the very bottom here for placements, I'm just going to leave that as advantage. Typically, if you leave it as advantage, Facebook will find the best spots to put your ad anyways. That is it for this page. All right, so we finished things up on the ad set level, and now we're going to go to the very bottom, which is the actual ad level itself. So in this case, again, ad name, this is, once again, subjective, but I'm going to say Lead Gen Pros, which is my agency. We're going to say, let's say Free Home Eval, Zillow. And you'll see why I name it Zillow in a second. It has to do with my ad graphic, right? Identity, make sure you have your Facebook page selected. Alternatively, you can connect your Instagram account as well, which I've done there. Now for the actual ad creation, here's the ad creative. I'm going to just pause and upload my creative so I can show you guys what that looks like there. All right, we're back. So what we're going to do now is I'm actually going to show you what kind of ad graphic and ad copy that we use and what our actual offer is here. So in terms of the creative source, I've gone ahead and manually uploaded that. In this case, we're just using a single image. Now I have split tested this with video on the front end as well, and I've kind of found a sweet spot here and a little bit of a cheat code to get higher quality and higher intent leads. So I used to run mostly video on the front end, but what I quickly realized, and I say this with utmost respect, is most people suck on camera. And that includes your a lot of realtors, right? Unless you're really practicing and out there quite frequently. And maybe saying they suck on camera is a little bit harsh, but I mean, they're not as refined as somebody who's doing this a lot. So what I've figured is that if your video is really good, you can see a lower cost per lead, but most realtors don't have the best videos, or not the best on camera. So as a result, their cost per lead actually increases. So what I do instead is use static images on the front end. And once somebody's completed their information or they filled out the form, on the back end, I'll actually add a video. And I'm going to show you exactly what that means and what that looks like in just a second here. But just to preface why I use static on the front end, here's the actual ad creative and the actual offer. So the offer is a free home eval. Now, I've worked with a bunch of coaches and paid a lot of money to a lot of people. And, the rationale a lot of realtors have is, well, Aaron, I always see free home evals. I want to run something else. I want to be different. And really think to yourself, if you're seeing an ad consistently for a free home evaluation, do realtors or do marketing agencies run ads that don't work or that don't have a positive ROI? Think about that for a second, right? So if you see an ad out there, chances are it's likely converting, unless if somebody's just really throwing cash for no reason, which is not likely the case, right? So in this case, we still run free home evals. They still work. A lot of people out there want to know what their home is worth, especially with shifting markets, right? So in this case, our ad copy is Calgary, see what your home is worth. The reason I call this a Zillow ad is because I went to Zillow, took a screenshot of my local area or whatever the area is where I'm running the ads. And in terms of the ad copy, it's very simple, right? So nothing complicated here, nothing really complex. Just, hey, Calgary homeowners, right? There's two call outs there. One is the location of Calgary, and then secondly is the specific person or the audience we're trying to reach, which is a homeowner. And then thirdly, the qualifying question, right? Are you considering selling your home, right? If yes, are you wondering what your home is worth in today's Calgary market? Maybe it's worth more than what you think it is. Check your home's value by clicking the Learn More button below. Call to action, learn more. So a really simple ad here. We've used this with great success. Here's the primary text. Here's the headline. See how much your home is worth, and then your description, right? Call to action. We found Learn More tends to work best. Again, I'm going to put this all in the document, so I'm going over a little bit quickly here, but it'll all be outlined in terms of the copy, headline, description, and so forth. Now, here's the part that is really, really important for this whole thing to work. If you ran this as an instant form on Facebook, could this work? Maybe. I've personally tried it once for a couple days and didn't see success. I think the reason I haven't seen success with it on the seller side is because I think people are skeptical to put their home address into a Facebook form or on Facebook itself. So that's why I actually take them off of Facebook onto a custom landing page. And the second reason I do that is for better lead quality, right? Because there's no Facebook autofill. And the third reason is you have a lot more flexibility with funnels, right? I can add video on the back end and so forth. So I'm going to show you what website I'm going to input here in a second. But everything else you actually leave, right? So leave your browser add-ons as none. Tracking doesn't matter, that's fine. So at this point, I would just enter with whatever the website is and click publish. And that is it on the Facebook side. So now we're going to jump into Go High Level, which is the CRM tool I use for all of our realtors. We'll get into it. All right, so what I'm going to do here is upload the client's website URL. That's what the website is. And then now I'm actually going to go to that website and show you exactly what we got here. So here's one of my clients, Calgary, what's your home worth? And this is optional. Not every client does this, but I was actually in the same city as this specific realtor, so I actually filmed him locally with a couple, recognizable landmarks, right, like the Calgary Tower. All we're doing here is, getting our realtor in front of his prospects, right, to build some rapport and trust and say, hey, I'm actually a real person. All we're saying here is, what to expect. So fill out the form below, and I'm going to get in touch with you with your home's current market value, right? It's not going to be something automated. We're setting the tone and expectations early to hopefully increase our lead quality, right? You're not going to have people just filling out the form willy-nilly because they're going to see a person here, right? An actual realtor attached to this form. So up to you whether you want to use video here. I personally think if, it's a great idea. Doesn't have to be as refined as our professional shooting here. It could just be you talking to a camera or your selfie on your phone, right, and saying, hey, it's Aaron here, just letting you know, fill out the form below. I'm going to get in touch with you over the phone. basically that's it, right? And then now you have some information here, right? So firstly, what's the full address of the property? And then actually below this, we have a couple examples of some social proof here, right, for this specific realtor. We actually also integrated a Google script here to actually pull whatever the address is automatically to make things easier for the client there. So what's the address of the property? You know, what's your relationship to this address? Are you the homeowner? Hopefully you are. How soon are you looking to sell your property? Ideally, the wording is more along the lines of, you know, if we got the ideal value for your home, how soon would you like to sell, right? Sounds a little bit less pushy and direct. And then lastly, where are we going to send these results, right? So what's your name, email, and your phone number here, right? And then once you have that, you're going to go ahead and click submit. And then once that form gets submitted, this is optional. I've seen people do different things here. So sometimes I'll have something like this where it says, hey, here's my calendar link where you can actually book inbound with me. And I think we're finding about 1 in 3, it was a pretty high booking rate. We're actually booking appointments inbound with this specific realtor, maybe 1 in 3, 1 in 4. So this realtor was actually getting inbound leads booked onto his calendar. Right now, in terms of show rates, that's going to vary in terms of how active you are with the follow-ups and text before to ensure, hey, Mr. Prospect, I have an appointment with you. But here's one thing I did. You don't have to do this though. If you don't want to do a calendar integration, you can just have a message or a second video that says, hey guys, thanks so much for claiming your free home eval. I'm going to be reaching out to you in the next day or so with this information. Please expect a call from a local area code. Right. So that's another alternative there. So that's basically the funnel sequence that we use. You don't really have to do it this way. This is the way, you know, I personally do it and have seen success with it. But one more thing, while you're on Go High Level, this is the CRM tool that we use. If you use this one or ClickFunnels, you know, I'm sure it's probably a pretty similar process. But that Facebook pixel we set up earlier, you're just going to want to integrate that here, right? So, sorry, not there. In settings, this is the tracking code that you're going to enter from your pixel to this section here. So again, a little bit of a more difficult process if you're not familiar with it. So definitely do check out their free resources. I have linked in the description there. Last thing I wanted to show you guys here is some sample results. So this is one of the clients we've been running this ad for. And the reason I wanted to show you this account is because if you actually look at the cost per lead on the static image side, we're seeing about $20 leads coming in. And you compare that to us running video on the front end, and video on the front end was almost $70 leads here. So it's a little bit higher than we would have liked to see. Despite maybe some small increases in lead quality, the volume just wasn't there, right? So further kind of getting the point across that static on the front end still works really, really well. And then if you want to have that increase in lead quality, run video on your back end. Now, hopefully that breaks everything down for you guys. You know, you learned kind of the offer to run, the ad graphics we use, the ad copy, kind of how the back-end system works a little bit. You know, I didn't go into great specifics there because that can vary, right? Whether you want to use Go High Level, whether you want to use ClickFunnels or Typeform or some sort of other tool is entirely up to you. This is just the way that I do it. Now, hopefully you learned a thing or two. What I will do here, I'm going to again link that Google document that has all the different resources there. You will have to opt in to receive that with your email and phone number. And hopefully you are an actual realtor who is requesting this document. If you're an agency, maybe we'll see if I want to send that over to you or not. Any case, hopefully you enjoyed. Any questions, comment below, or again, shoot me an email, shoot me a DM on IG, and I'm happy to get back to you. But hopefully you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time.